Hey guys, so welcome to today's episode of Random Thoughts with Chazakam. Facebook just shared with me the memory of a story I shared, I think it was 6 years ago, but it actually happened like 7 years ago, right? This was a story of myself. The story goes this way. There was this time, it was a true life stuff, right? So I went to church on this particular day, and on this day, it wasn't my church. I was just visiting because I was staying over with my sister back then in Onitsha. So I was just for the weekend. So I decided to just visit the nearby church. So on this particular day, I don't know, I can't remember the events that led up to this particular day, but then I was just feeling bad. It was not just those are one of those moments you just go to church because you just don't know what else to do. You just need to go to church. So that was the situation then. So I went to the church on this particular day, and it wasn't an auto, it was actually a Pentecostal church. I would have loved to call the name of the church, but I won't sound nice. But it was just one of those very popular church. You know the church. I'm sure you know the church. They were just one of their branches, right? So I went there. So this particular day, when the praise and worship was going on, I was just, I just bowed down my head. I was actually crying and trying to figure out, okay, what next with my life? What do I do at this point? Those kind of, when that kind of praise and worship is going on, but you are lost in your own self. You're lost in your own thoughts. You're lost in your own world. So I didn't mind. The praise and worship was going on. My mind wasn't even there. I was just trying to figure out what to do with my life. So unknown to me, I was seated. Every other person was standing. You know how hot praise is going on. And every other person, was a small church, about 60 people. Yeah, about 60. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure we're up to 100. Okay. So it was a very small church. Everybody knows. It's this kind of family church where everybody knows each other. They all know themselves. Okay. So I was just bowing down my head and just thinking about my life. So worship had gone on for like let's say 5-10 minutes. I didn't know the pastor, the main pastor of the church was a lady. Was the recent pastor of the church, right? So I didn't know she has been looking at me, and based on the looking at the way I was dressed and sitting down while the praise was going on, she interpreted it like this guy is trying to be big boy. I don't know what, but then I think that was her thoughts, right? So after some point, next thing I knew, my head was bowed down. Next thing I knew was somebody coming to drag me out from my seat. I've not been embarrassed in my life like that event. Just started dragging me out from my seat like I should stand up, I should dance. That who do I think I am? I mean, inside the church. Inside the church, man. I was mad. God. I was already feeling terrible. Only feeling bad about my circumstance, about what's happening to me. And this lady just came, disgraced me. I mean, the whole church, it was actually the praise, that kind of thing where the praise is still going on, but everybody's attention is now God. I just felt like the ground to just open up and just swallow me. Those are one of those experiences, right? But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to bring up from that story is the fact that the lady could only see my actions. She couldn't see my intentions. She could only see the fact that this guy was sitting down when others are doing praises. He's probably trying to be a big boy. And to even make matters worse, when she started preaching with, in this church, nobody is a big boy. Nobody is a big boy in this church. Nobody is a big girl. I mean, I was so embarrassed, man. I was just so embarrassed. But back to the moral of the story. Most times when you see people taking actions, I've learned not to judge people at face value. I've learned to see the fact that when people do things, there's always a reason behind it. I might not be able to agree with their reason, but as far as they are concerned, it's a reason to them. Most times when we judge people that are not like us, they don't look like us, they don't behave like us, we tend to forget the fact that these people are a totally different people. They grew up with different background. They grew up to like a different kind of thing. They grew up to be taught in a different way. So sometimes when you judge their actions, it's not, you're judging you're judging without seeing the full picture. Because by the time you truly go back, trace their background, trace the kind of people they've been around, and put yourself in their shoes, you find out that if you were them, coming from that background, we probably might have even been doing the same thing. You understand? So that experience taught me not to really judge people at face value. A lot of people are going through a lot of things that they don't tell you. Okay, and unless you are discerning, unless you're understanding, you won't know these things. You'll find it easy to just judge their actions. I say these things by experience, because the first 5 after when I turned 18, I had some experiences that messed up with my mind, and I had a lot of time, a lot of months, years, that was really clinically depressed. I mean, a lot of things were just wrong with me up here, right? So those times, if you'd had seen me, you wouldn't notice that anything was wrong with me, because I was the best person you would ever meet in this life. Okay, but the truth was, I was really passing through a whole lot. Sometimes when I tell people this story, they don't believe it, because even my roommate who was staying with me then couldn't believe when I shared this story. He couldn't believe that I was passing through those things, because I was cool, calm, calculated. Everything looked very fine with me, but I wasn't just fine. Everything in this life was wrong with me. Okay, so. But what I'm just trying to bring out is the fact that don't judge people. Don't just judge their actions. Sometimes find out their intentions. Find out what was going through their mind before they took that action. Before you judge them. Before you try to pass, accusations or whatever it is you call it. Okay. People are going through stuff, man. People are going through a whole lot that they don't share with you. I've been privileged to be the kind of person that people like to talk to, open up to, and sometimes when they share things that are wrong with them, I'm like, wow, are you lying? Oh, do you really mean this? You get, and people are going through a whole lot, man. The best you can do is don't worsen their situation. If you can't make them better, don't make it worse. If you can't make people's situation better, please don't make it worse. I don't know, the people you have around you might feel they are not acting right, something is wrong with them, they're always the black sheep. Something is really, the truth is, something is really wrong with them, yeah. But the truth is, you don't know why it is wrong with them. They are the only ones that can tell what is really. If you're not discerning, if you're not understanding, you might just easily judge people. Feel like just because they don't act the way you act, they don't behave the way you behave, I mean, they are not like you. I mean, that's a very immature way of dealing with people. One thing you need to understand is that every single person you meet out there, they are not like you. They are different. They grew up having different friends. They grew up having friends different from the friends you have, in a background different from the one you have, growing up in a family that are different from your own family. Their father does not talk like your father. Their mom does not talk like your mom. Their siblings don't relate the same way you relate. These are things that every matured person should know. The fact that people you meet on the street on a daily basis are not like you. You don't expect them to behave like you. It will be foolishness if you want them to conform, like, believe, love, and do everything that you do. It's just not, it's not even attainable. These are things I had to tell myself. I had to learn for myself when I began to go into relationship, leading up to marriage. I had to tell myself that my spouse is not, she didn't grow up with the kind of family I grew up in, and she's totally a different person from myself. I had to learn to accommodate. This is something every mature person needs to learn how to do. The fact that you see people behave the way they behave, do the things they do, does not mean that they are not a human being just like yourself. Once you see people take actions, just know that there are intentions behind every action. Their intentions might not sound reasonable to you, neither would it sound wise to you or even acceptable to you. But the truth is, as far as they are concerned, it's their own intention. And when I learned this, I began to see people much differently. When I see people act, I tend to ask myself the questions like, if I grew up where they grew up, been in their shoes, went through the things they went through, would I be able to actually act differently? And sometimes the answer is actually no. And that makes me much more, I find it very easy to accommodate people. I don't accommodate people to the point where it begins to affect me and my own character, my own dispositions, right? Once I'm being affected myself, I sideline you, right? What I'm trying to say is, try to be accommodating. People are going through stuff. If you can't help them, don't worsen the situation for them. If you can't make them better, don't make them worse. If you can make people better, don't make them worse. Okay, try as much as possible. Let your words be seasoned with salt, as scripture says. I mean, when you speak to people, speak to them with dignity, speak to them with love. Don't try to make it look like they are from a different race, totally having a totally different experience, and they are not worth your time, things like that. I mean, words can kill, right? Your words are powerful, and what you don't know is a word that you might say in just 5 seconds might have a 5 years lifetime effect on someone. Okay, and a word you just said can just be the reason why the person totally becomes nothing in life, because all through his life you just keep remembering those words that you said. So, and I mean, it won't be it's a very terrible thing to do. It's a very wicked thing to do. So as much as possible, if you can't help people, please don't worsen the situations for them. Okay, in my own case, I had to, with the story I just told you, I had to just couple myself together and just tell myself, because I had every reason to really hate that lady. I mean, I should be justified. God should understand if I decide to hate her. But man, I had to, because as far as I was concerned with that thing she acted, I just knew I was a mom. I was just, this was me like 4 years being a Christian. But I just knew that lady was just a babe, in Christ. She was just being in as much she was the pastor of the church, but with what she did, as I then with my little knowledge of God, I knew that was wrong. Because you don't even know me. I have a right to even lie down. I mean, for crying out loud, this is my father's eyes, But however, I'm just trying to say, don't judge people, okay? Don't judge people, and try to find out people's intentions. And by all means, please be nice. Please be nice. You owe it to the world to be nice, okay? So I think that should be all for now. So till we meet again, I love you. See you guys some other time. Please do also subscribe to this YouTube channel. I bring wisdom, premium wisdom on this channel every single day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 1 week. So catch you some other time.